Saturday. It's Saturday.
Let's get this show going, man.
Welcome to the Bleeding Burgundy podcast, a Washington Commanders podcast for fans by fans, with your hosts, Jessy Martin.
The Cowboys are finished, you understand me?
John Taman.
Pull down my trousers and do your job.
Scott Hartley.
Well, that was fucking dreadful.
And occasionally, Keith Gregg.
So many social engagements, so little time.
And now, your host, John Taman.
Hey, that's me. I'm John Taman. I am your host, and I like Saturdays because on Saturdays I don't have to do much. What's that? What?
John Taman.
Oh, okay. Usually when y'all start talking, right when I start talking, it's to tell me how I fucked up the opening this time. John, this isn't working. Something's not working. So anyway, hey, I'm John. Welcome to Saturday NFL Picks with my friend Jessy over there. And, you know, I have to remember to point the opposite way to get to you.
Yeah,
so
it's always the opposite.
My friend Jessy from Southeast.
I'm pointing to the right here.
Right.
And you're to my left.
Right. And no matter what, Scott's down.
I'm almost like it's fine. I like being in the bottom. It's always
how y'all boys doing today, man?
Scott's the bottom.
You got a house.
Loves being the bottom.
I do like being in the bottom.
He's a magnificent bottom.
Oh, it's a rainy Saturday. Rainy, windy.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And you're on the water.
Football weather.
You're on the water right here at the mouth of the Chesapeake Bay where this thing's coming up. And are you in the center of it yet?
Yeah, it's like in the center right now.
It's just a tropical storm. So I mean, you know, people
not much.
Fuck down. I see people talking about, oh, they're gonna cancel the game tomorrow. Are you fucking kidding me? For rain?
No.
I'm not gonna cancel the game tomorrow for rain. That's just ridiculous. All right, so we're going to pick some NFL football games, and I don't know which schedule you guys are looking at because I don't have anything open right now. So I guess we're going to go right ahead with the Titans and the Browns, which honestly,
before we start, John, we've got to go off last week, haven't we?
Oh, right. I'm already bad at being the host. Okay, so let's see how we did last week. I was trying to forget how bad we did last week. My wife doesn't hear how much money we lost last week.
It wasn't a good one, that's for sure. So actually, if we look at the fixtures, we had 15 fixtures of predictions. Jessy came out with 8 correct picks. John had six correct picks, and myself 6 correct picks. On the actual money and what we put down, Jessy, you put a massive $2,100 down.
Boy, big spend.
And your return was $1,940, $160 loss. So not as bad as you thought you were going to do.
That's all right. That's all right. I'm in the red though.
John, you put $1,400 down, and you came out with $855, which is a $545 loss. And myself,
my wife,
I put $900 down, and I came back with $660, a $240 loss. So even though we all lost, if we look at it in the round, Jessy, you had the least loss at $160. So yeah,
I'll take the wins where I can get them.
The thing that screwed you big time was the Chargers. You bet a lot of money on the Chargers, and it also helped you. It also helped you because you went for the over, so you stuck 300 on the over as well. So that helped you out massively. For you, John, your best pick, I'm looking at this, was 2. You had 500 on Miami to cover, and you also had 300 on San Francisco laying the points, and that hit as well. So well done. Then you had some obscene wild ones, which were like, $25 on Texans and all sorts of shit.
Fucking why not? They're trying to figure out what they can do. Why not? $25.
I got no idea. So they were the ones that were the best bets of the day, really. So well done, gents. And we start as we mean to go on, I suppose.
All right, nice job. My wife, who seems to think that dogs can't go outside in the rain by themselves, is out there herding the dogs back inside while you said how much money I lost. So good timing on you, Scott.
All right.
I was the big shit of the week.
We will point out that this is a mythical $1,000 that we have. We do not put this money on.
No, what we put down. I mean, Jessy might. I don't know. You're pretty open.
He might do.
What I bet on my own. I don't tell anybody what I'm betting on my own because I curse myself if I speak it into existence, and I never ever bet on my team.
No.
Yeah, that's the worst thing you can do. I mean, the only time I bet on Washington is, in my work pool. because we do go against the spread, and then we also have hookers, which is if
all right,
we can take
you win.
Yeah, we can take certain games, certain players. Well, no, I'm sorry, it's a certain game per week. So whoever the guy that runs it will pick a game per week, and there's over unders and prop bets that are included for a bonus, and I will go ahead and do that but other than that, do not bet on your favorite team because they will.
Let me quote Jesse Martin as we're leaving the stadium after the victory over the Cardinals on week 1. Let me just stop into the book here and pick up my winnings.
It was about $6, John.
Hey, but he bet on our team, so hey,
good to win, Jesse.
And you know what? I got a free hat out of it. That's why.
Yeah, that's a good hat too. You know what? I like the hat that Ron Rivera wears on the sideline with the.
Yeah, I do. I like that one too.
The narrow line. I like that. So hey, Jason, let's get that one in the store, man, because I don't really care for these big ass fucking trucker cap goddamn logos. Goddamn Baker 19 here come through Washington D.C. right now, boy. Gonna get on them Buffalo Bills.
All right. That is not what I was trying to do. All right.
Tennessee and Cleveland.
Tennessee and Cleveland.
The storm that's causing all kinds of freaking sewage back up here, is what it's doing all across the, the Carolinas and all that kind of stuff, because all the fucking outhouses to overflow. All those people, they're just going to blame that stench. Their insurance company's going to go, sorry, you're not smelling any sewage. That's just the smell coming over from Tennessee playing Cleveland.
Yeah.
So I've got the over under here. Jesse's 39.5.
Yeah, and Cleveland's favored by 3.5, and I'm not exactly sure why.
Because they put up points in the last 2 games.
Nick Chubb's out. Is out. Gruesome injury.
Nasty injury, that very.
Feel for him. I do not feel for Deshaun Watson, no. And
dude smacked the referee last week.
I don't think, they brought in Kareem Hunt, but I don't think he's going to play this week. And I like Tennessee in this game. I like them to cover. I think I'm going to stay away from it, but my pick is Tennessee to cover.
Okay, Tennessee. John?
I'm also going to take Tennessee to cover because beating up the Chargers last week, that was a significant win. I mean, granted, the Chargers, like I said to you yesterday, man, they're the team with perennially the most talent ever since I can remember that can't ever get it done. But to beat them, you got to score up in the 30s, and they did. So, Cleveland, they have scored points in the last 2 weeks, but I don't see it continuing. Chubb being out, even though that kid Ford came in and played pretty well, Kareem Hunt's not back yet. I don't care what anybody says. He's just not going to be quite ready yet. Yeah. And I say, go get Deshaun Watson, smack him, crack him. I don't know why the NFL protected him from fucking shoving a referee. If that was your offensive lineman, he wouldn't be here for the next 2 games. If that was a defensive lineman, goddamn it, he might be out for 6 games. But Deshaun Watson can grab a hold of a referee and try to throw him out of the way like he's some hooker in some massage parlor and he's trying to get out of paying her.
Yeah.
Heading for the door.
Interesting one, this for me. I mean, looking at Cleveland there. I mean, they beat the Bengals 24-3 when obviously the Bengals were awful to start off. And they've been pretty awful now. They're 0-2. 1-1 Browns. I mean, they got beat up on, was it Thursday night football they played? I think it might have been 26-22. A couple of defensive touchdowns from the Steelers, if I remember rightly. So, they're a bit hit and miss, but I really don't believe in Tennessee at all. I think they're a one-man running machine through, and if you can stop Derrick Henry, which is, better said than done, then I don't think they've got much. I don't think they've got much else other than that. I don't believe in any of the quarterbacks they've got at all there. I mean, even Will Levis is 3rd string, which is ridiculous. But for me, I'm going against you two, and I'm going to take Cleveland for the win for this, but staying away from it completely.
Yeah, I just 3.5. I think this is more of a pick'em game than anything.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Vegas has proved me wrong on numerous of times. All right, up next we got the I fucking hate you Chargers against the Minnesota Vikings and Kirk Cousins. This is what the Chargers favored by. No, I'm sorry,
Minnesota,
Vikings. Minnesota. It's in Minnesota.
Vikings are 1.5.
1.5. Yeah,
But
that's a we don't know.
Yeah, the over-under on this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
54.5? Really?
Yep. I think that's fucking definitely doable. Are you kidding me? This game could have 70 points in it easily.
Because there's no such thing as defense on these teams.
And you got two quarterbacks slinging it all over the place. You got wide receivers. I'm serious. If somebody on the sidelines popped a pimple, a wide receiver would come out. They'd have a brand new one just standing there ready to go. They just morph them out of nowhere. This kid Addison that the Vikings have, that dude's
he's
badass.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm telling you, you see what 13? God damn it! I always blank on the fucking names. Wide receiver for the Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen's kicking ass, and it's not that he is necessarily going out there and beating these cornerbacks. He's finding himself wide open. He's finding himself without anybody standing around him, and pretty boys hitting him. So they just can't seem to get it across the finish line. But yeah, man, I'm definitely going the over in this game, and I'm taking the freaking. Oh, I don't even know which one to bet on this. Who can't fuck it up at the end the most? That's the thing you got to ask yourself. Who won't fuck it up at the end?
Yeah,
I'm going to listen to y'all's analysis.
I'm going to say I'm staying away from this game, but I'm going to go ahead and pick the Chargers.
Chargers, right? Okay.
They what are the Chargers? They're 0-2, aren't they?
I'm getting out ye old flipping coin.
Yeah, but I'm going to take the under in this one.
Oh,
yeah, I'm going to take the under, and I will put $50 on the under.
Well,
$50 on the under. Okay. Well done, Jesse. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a clue in this, really. I mean, Justin Jefferson is a beast. Obviously, Addison, as you suggested there, John, also unreal. Great first round
in the NFC. Sorry.
Yeah, they do. In Hawkinson, he's a great player. And then, obviously, for the Chargers, is this going to be one of them games that's an Austin Eckler game again, where he breaks out and just does his thing? I don't know. I think Brandon Staley's really on the hot seat for me. He's one of them head coaches where you're right, absolutely right, Jesse, and you too, John. It's who is not going to fuck this up the most. At the end of the day, the Chargers are one of them teams that they've got all the talent in the world, but they always seem to just mess it up at the end. And I just think, what are you doing? You've got a really good quarterback, you've got a really good running back, but you just can't seem to get over the finish line.
They've got gigantic wide receivers too. They're all it's like these
NBA
team
player.
For a pass.
For me, I'm gonna pick Minnesota. I don't know why. I'm just gonna pick Minnesota because Kirk might have one of them games where, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know.
There you go. That's Kirk.
Look,
that's my analysis.
I'm going to change my pick to Minnesota. Austin Eckler has been ruled out of this game.
Okay, there you go. Then. Thank you.
Joey Bosa is questionable. Eric Kendricks is out.
They've got Khalil Mack still, haven't they? Though he's a good player.
And let's see for Minnesota, Marcus Davenport, linebackers out, and Garrett Bradbury, the center, is questionable with a back injury. Yeah, so I guess I'll lean Minnesota in this game, just because of Eckler is not playing.
I'll tell
matter of fact, I'm going to switch my pool pick too because I had picked the Chargers in my pool pick. I mean, this is a battle of, both of these teams are 0-2, and no one expected this at the beginning of the season. These are two, an NFC a playoff contender and an AFC playoff contender, and their seasons couldn't start off any worse than what they have.
Well, I'll tell you what, the only reason that I would pick the Vikings is because they're at home. Yeah. But I'm not impressed with their running attack. I thought Alexander Madison would be doing better, but he can't seem to get out of his own way. He constantly seems to be running into people, which was not what they were doing before. I guess it was Dalvin Cook was softening him up just enough to be able to give him openings because they didn't know what to do. But They traded for Cam Akers. I don't think that he's going to play this week. I think the Vikings are searching for answers right now. And even though they have the wide receivers and they have Captain Mayonnaise out there, look, man, Herbert wears that 1960s, Jan Brady headband, right?
Jan Brady.
Yeah, he does. He wears the Jan Brady headband. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and give the Chargers the edge because he wears the Jan Brady headband, and for no other reason than that whatsoever. I'm going to take the Chargers and the 1.5 points, and just for grins, I'm going to put $50 down on it because one of these teams has to be able to come away with a victory, and I am going to put $100 down on the over, which would you say was 54.5?
Yeah,
I'm telling you what, this game smells like 33-35 all day long.
All right.
So I got you taking the points with the Chargers. What are you putting on that, John? 50, did you say?
$50 just for grins, yeah.
And then 50 on the over as well, yeah?
No, 100 on the over.
100 on the over, right? Okay, I got you.
Big spender. You look at both of these teams, right? What are they going to score?
That's why I'm staying far away from this shit.
I mean,
I can't trust either one of them.
20-14 game? No way, man. Not unless these fucking team buses with all the offenses get lost.
It's going to be,
it's going to be like
7 to 10,
13 to 7 game, probably.
7 to 10, yeah, something like that.
The only way this is going to be a defensive battle is if the fucking locker room doors don't open and they're all stuck in there all game. Damn, man. Somebody get out and kick a field goal. Hurry up.
All right, moving along to the New England Patriots going to the Meadowlands, or what is it called now? MetLife Stadium.
I think it's called Nobody Scores a Point.
Yeah. The Patriots are only favored by 2.5 in this game.
Yeah. Interesting. Maybe they think it's a defensive.
It is a defensive battle. The over/under is 36.5.
Yeah.
The injury report looks like Jonathan Jones, the defensive back, is out. Offensive guard Sidney So is out, and on the other side, Greg Zuerlein, the kicker for the Jets, is questionable with a groin.
Really?
And
that's significant.
Left tackle Dwayne Brown is out with a shoulder injury, and as well as Wes Schweitzer is out with a concussion for the Jets.
How are you going to get a concussion if you haven't got a brain in there?
Yes, yeah. I got the Pats winning this game. Barely. Maybe by 3 points, so I'll take the Pats and lay the points. I just don't look. The Jets quarterback situation is what it is. Aaron Rodgers goes down within 4 plays of the first game of the season. Terrible for Jets fans, not really because I can't stand Aaron Rodgers, but yeah, the kid is he's terrible. He's fucking terrible. So I'll take the under in this as well. But I'm not going to put nothing on it. I'm not going to put nothing.
Okay.
What did you say the over under was? 39.5?
36.5.
36.5. Quite low, that.
That is really low.
Yeah. Mac Jones is terrible. This is a defensive battle right here.
100%.
And I think if you talk about it in the terms of a defensive battle, you got to always give the nod to Bill Belichick. When you got a quarterback like Zach freaking Wilson back there and he's got no left tackle, I'm going to give the edge to Bill Belichick. I think that if Bill Belichick was marooned on a desert island and the Jets were allowed to go out there and play a bunch of taxi drivers that they just grabbed off the street and Bill Belichick could coach with an iPhone, I give the edge to Bill Belichick. He owns the Jets lock, stock, and barrel, and he's going to keep owning the Jets because it's the only thing he's going to have left to fall on at the end of this season. But I don't see Bill Belichick going 0-3. I just don't. They haven't been too bad. I mean, Mac Jones hasn't been great. They don't really have many offensive weapons, but they've managed to stay in these games. They stayed in the game with the Philadelphia Eagles last week. They played against the Dolphins. They kind of got thrown around like that. However, Bill Belichick did have the red flag of the day. I don't know if you guys saw that. Where
in his sock. Yeah, it was cool.
He got pissed off and threw that. Somebody tell me something. I was like, goddamn terrible call. Look at that again. I'm going to go with the Patriots, and I'm not touching this game with anything.
I mean, the Jets could have a defensive score and you know, keep it really close. This is a battle between two top 10 defenses, and
Well, see, that's where I give the edge to Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I mean, possibly you could, but I mean, Robert Saleh and this Jets defense is very, very good.
They are good. So I look at it like this. Do I trust Mac Jones against that defense more than I trust Zach Wilson against whatever Bill Belichick? Bill Belichick, I tell you what, let me tell you something. I'm just got out of bed. Oh, it's a nice morning. I'm going to have me a nice bowl of rookie quarterbackos. And I don't care what anybody says about Zach Wilson. He's just as bad as a rookie quarterback. Let me just eat those sons of for breakfast. So
yeah, for me, I agree with you both. I think I'm going New England on here. They haven't got much of a game there. I mean, Ezekiel Elliott, a running back. You've got Juju Smith-Schuster's there. Yeah, Stevenson's good. Juju's in there now as their number one kind of wide receiver, which is just awful. I don't think he's very good at all. Christian Gonzalez is playing pretty well as well, on defense for them. So he's always going to get matched up with our Emmanuel Forbes because, that was the pick. So he's always going to be there. And he seemed to be doing things last week. I agree with you. I think Zach Wilson's I think Mac Jones is just a little bit better than Zach Wilson for me. So yeah, I'll take New England again. But 3 games have been through here, and not a single dollar of my money do I want to part with. So
it's some shit games this week.
Yeah.
There's some dogs on us.
Odd.
Some not really. I mean, it's the early part of the season, and it just kind of shows you where the NFL is. If you're a bad team, you're a bad team, and there's not a whole lot of delineation, even though they like to tell you, there's razor thin margins between these teams. We're going to find out tomorrow, right? Of course, we're an up and coming team.
Moving along to the Texans and Jaguars. The Texans are a road dog. Was it not 8.5?
8.5. I mean, that is huge.
It is huge, but we're talking about the Texans here. And
I know.
I just want to read off the injury report real quick. Safety Jalen Petrie is out with a chest injury. Middle linebacker Denzel Perryman is out with a hand. Treveri Thomas is also out, and Laramie Tunsil, left tackle, is also out with a knee injury.
So have you got I've got the Jacksonville one here. If you want me to do that, I've got Zay Jones out with a knee, wide receiver, and then I've got Antonio Johnson with a hamstring out. He's a safety. Outside linebacker Josh Allen, his shoulder was questionable. And then we've got Andrew Wingard, who's a safety, questionable, and we've also got, I can't pronounce his name, it's Fatasuki, who is a defensive lineman, also questionable with a shoulder. So, yeah, not a huge amount of loss there. Zay Jones, he's a wide receiver. Yeah, he's probably their wide receiver 3. Yeah. He's probably their wide receiver 3, I think, in Jacksonville. So
he's one of those touchdown maker guys like Gabe Davis.
But 8.5 is still, I know it's the Texans, but 8.5 is quite a big spread.
Because the Texans defense is pretty good, and look, in terms of a fantasy perspective, which has nothing to do with the game itself, but it shows little insights sometimes. The Texans have 3 wide receivers in the top 30 of all fantasy scoring players, so they do move the ball. They just, they don't get it over the line. They've got the rookie quarterback that's playing. I love the Jaguars in this game simply because they got stymied last week, man. Trevor Lawrence didn't do nothing last week. And I just feel like they're ready to break out. I feel like Calvin Ridley is due for a big day. And I just feel it in this game. So what did you say the spread was? 8.5?
8.5, yeah.
I'm taking it. Go ahead. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and lay the points, take the Jaguars at home, lay 8.5 points, and I'm going to put $150 down on that because $150 was the number that came in my mind when I was playing pool this morning in my mind. So my good luck charm is working.
Yeah, I got the Jags too. I got them plus laying the points. And I'm going to put 100 on that. And the over under is 43.5. It's kind of low total, but I think that it just accounts for Houston, Texas, and their offense not being all that great yet.
So I don't want anything to do with that spread because this could end up. I know what Trevor Lawrence is like. He's not been on amazing form. I watched him against the Chiefs last week, and it wasn't a great game. 8.5 still. I mean, we don't know what's happening with CJ Stroud, as you said, a bit there. I am back in Jacksonville. I'm just going to put straight money on the win for Jacksonville. I'm going to put $300 on it. I'm confident they'll win, but I'm not confident that they'll win by giving 8.5 points.
You're going to put $300 on it and get a $7
to make
return.
About 6. Yes, to make about 6.
He put $300 on his. He can go to his wife and say, "Honey, I just put $300 down on the
Correct."
And
Yeah,
she's
correct.
going to say, "Ooh, you come here, you big giant budgie beak."
You know, I ain't sleeping on that couch tomorrow. I'll tell you, that's for sure. Yeah, $300.
Oh. All right, this next game. This is an interesting game right here, and let me explain why. We got the Colts in Baltimore, and the Colts are dogs, or Baltimore's favored by 8.5. The over/under is 44, but there's like about 15 Ravens that are out of this game, including
15 of them.
Yeah,
What, they have like a
Also,
special
Jessy.
trip to Atlantic City or something?
there is
Gardner Minshew's there, the Colts quarterback.
Right. Well, hey, that's not such a bad thing.
That's I was going to say, let me pull up let me find the injury report real quick.
He's a gamer. He can throw a stinker up here because you're back up, but he is a gamer. He can get out there and fucking wing it around.
Richardson's failed concussion, hasn't he?
We got let's see, Justice Hill is out, Odell Beckham is out, Marlon Humphrey is out, Marcus Williams is out, Odafe Owe is out, Ronnie Staley is out.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm talking about big time players.
They are big time.
Tyler
players.
Linderbaum is
Linderbaum's out as well.
All these are starters. All these are starters. So I am.
You just listed their 7 starters straight away, Jesse.
Yeah, I am taking the Colts plus the points. I think the Ravens are still going to win, but I don't think they're going to win by 8.5.
Okay.
Plus the points. But you turned it.
Then I'm going to put 200 on that.
Oh, okay.
I think that the Ravens have said, no, man, I'll tell you what, we're going to tie one hand behind our back. No, we're going to tie 8 hands behind our back, and we're still going to kick your ass because you're the Colts and you ain't got jack shit, nothing. I'm not going to touch it because I think 8.5 is just a little too much for me to give away, but I'm not a believer in the Colts. If the Ravens won by 7, I wouldn't be surprised, but if they won by 10, I wouldn't be surprised. So I'm not touching the game in any way except to take the Ravens for the win. What did you say the over-under was on this?
Over-under is 44.5.
Oh, I got it as 43.5. Has that changed by a point?
I just pulled this up on FanDuel.
Nah,
okay.
This is a game I won't even watch. Well, you know what? It's going to be a freaking mess during that game.
Yeah,
that is. Yeah,
it's going to be a mess.
Yeah,
and it's up the beltway, isn't it? So the weather's not going to be amazing either.
Yeah, the weather's going to be nasty.
It's 50 miles away from FedEx Field,
and that's another. This is going to be a low-scoring, tighter game than people expect.
I'll tell you what, fantasy players out there, if you can get a hold of Gus Edwards, there's your boy right there. Gus Edwards is going to turn it out tomorrow. He's a mutter. He's a mutter, and he's going to come out and mud all over them damn Colts tomorrow.
So I'm going to put $50 on the under, but I'm going to take for the actual prediction. I'm going to take Indianapolis. I just think that's too many starters that are out. And as you said, even though Richardson isn't there as quarterback, I've only seen him running, and he scored a couple of touchdowns. We haven't really seen him in the pass game. I've watched his tape at Florida, and he was a bust written all over for me in the first round. But he seems to be that Lamar Jackson type quarterback, Cam Newton style. I'll run, but because he's not there and it's Gardner Minshew, he can put up a brick occasionally, but I think he'll do enough to get them through. So it's going to be a low scorer, like you said. So Colts for the win, but I'll put 50 on the under.
Our good friend Pete Sidorn. Where'd you say he's from there, Scott? I can't remember how you pronounced it.
Bristow or
Bristle. He's from Bristol. It's from Bristol, but everyone calls it Brizzle.
All right, our good friend Pete wants to know what the Ravens did to get so cursed with the injury bug. Look, man, like I just said, that stadium is only 40 miles away, and Dan Snyder's jet flew over it when he took off for the last time, and that shadow was stained onto that stadium, and the curse of Dan lives on. Except I still want to
know if Peter is Bristol City or Bristol Rovers. He hasn't said yet, and if he doesn't do football, does he follow Bristol Rugby? I don't know.
You know, you're in Baltimore. They probably got some bad heroin in a plate of pasta or something.
Wow.
That's the wrong graphic. Oh well, there you go.
There we go. I like the old graphic better, actually.
I'll put the helmets up next week, but I just I'm not gonna have them big white like that. No.
Yeah, we got the Detroit Lions facing the Atlanta Falcons. Lions are favored by 3. Over under is 46.5, and I love the Lions in this game right here. They let me down last week.
They did.
They you let a overrated Seahawks team take advantage of them in the the overtime and their overtime loss. But I am not able. I think the 2-0 record for the Atlanta Falcons is just bluster. It's fake. They're fake. And Bijan Robinson is the worst running back in the league. Hopefully Keith is listening.
He's probably still trying to wring out all of his freaking shirts because of the rain today. Although, who was it? Sean? Or was it Sean? No, it wasn't Sean. It was
Sean.
No, it was
Scott G. Scott
G from up in North Dakota, who hit it right on the head. That waxed Keith is going to have all the rain beating off of it.
Yeah,
we made fun of him on the show yesterday, but considering that already today about 3 inches of rain have fallen, maybe he had the right idea to go get waxed. Maybe I should have gone and got waxed.
Maybe. Injury report: Cordell Patterson and Jeff Okudah are both questionable. Over on the other side of the ball, St. Brown is questionable with the toe, but I think he's playing. David Montgomery is doubtful with the thigh injury. And Kirby Joseph is out with a hip injury. And let's see. Halia Potavaitai is out with a knee injury.
Well pronounced there. Who's the running back generally for the Lions? Is it Gibbs who they picked up?
Yeah, it'll be Gibbs. It's certainly not David Montgomery or whatever the fuck you said.
Yeah, Montgomery. He was a good pickup. He was with the Bears. He's a good number 2. But
we'll get back to fantasy again. He is a freaking fantasy vulture. He's a touchdown.
Yeah, that's true.
And he was having a nice game when he got hurt.
That's true. I like the Lions laying the points. 200.
200. Wow. Okay. Lions.
I think.
So what I'm saying here is because the Bristol Rovers are known as the Gasheads. That's their nickname. So that's why I said Gashead. So I've actually been to both Bristol stadiums. So I'm a Carlisle fan from a sin. So I've watched them play Bristol Rovers. We've got them later in the season. So that's based on in 2 weeks' time.
Based on what you told us about where our friend Scouse lives, I thought that for a second there, I looked at the image and my eyes aren't so great today, and I thought that was him, and I just thought, Gashid, is he talking to one of his manservants? I don't know.
Gashead, yeah, that's me. I'm taking the Lions here, Jesse, with you. Agreed. Later points. I'm going to stick 200 on this. I can't understand how the Falcons are 2-0. I just don't get it. I don't know how they've got there, what they've done to get there. Still do not believe in Desmond Ridder at all. I think they're a dysfunctional franchise, but somehow they're at 2-0. I've got no clue how they got there. Lions for me, and I'm going to put 200 on it as well.
Right on.
I'm also going to put 200 on the Lions, just so that you guys can stay even with me if we all lose.
Nice.
I'll tell you what, the Falcons last week they caught a bad team, or excuse me, let me see what they've done so far. They beat the Packers last week. Yeah, they beat the Packers by a point. So the Packers are they lying to us in week 1? The Bears certainly look like a bunch of shit. The fact that the Packers laid
are terrible.
The Bears are awful, and not only are the Bears awful, we'll get to the Bears. The Falcons, they're not as good as you might think, but I don't think that they are as terribly bad as you might think. They just have been lucky enough to catch a couple of opponents that they're able to beat. But the fact that they're able to beat them is a lot
kind of like the Commanders,
right? And right. Ours, I think, were the Cardinals. I might have been saying a little bit easier, but either way, we're both teams that are down in the lower third of the league, trying to claw our way up into the second third and maybe a little bit higher, right? So Desmond Ridder, he's a gamer. I don't know that he's going to be a very good NFL quarterback, but he has his moments out there. I was watching the Red Zone last week, and they're showing a bunch of Falcons plays, and it wasn't terrible stuff. And I know that doesn't give you a good indication of how they play during the game, But the fact of the matter is, I don't give a shit. The Lions are coming off of a loss last week that they shouldn't have lost. I don't know how you fucking look. Dude, when did you see the play with Geno Smith doing his hop? Wait, what the fuck was that? Ooh, wait, look, let me run down and down to the 2, where he fucking ran all the way down to the 2-yard line. The little jump that he did in the middle of the pocket was ridiculous. The Lions right now have got to be sitting at the bottom of the fucking Coliseum going, God damn it, I need some Christians. Throw me some fucking Christians right now, and they're gonna slaughter the Falcons. They're gonna slaughter the Falcons. The Falcons, they aren't even going to win big.
Lions win big. They're pissed off from last week. All right, up next we have the
What? Why are you wanting to watch this game?
This is a great game in 2008.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But the Saints are 2-0. I mean, come on. This is another team that I think is they're liars.
Yeah, they have a good defense.
Yeah,
sort of. I mean, sort of. They're not so good against the run.
You know, it's funny that the Saints are 2-0. Derek Carr has really good stats, and the Saints fans are still clamoring for Jameis Winston to be under center, which is just baffles the hell out of me. And I thought our fans are dumb. But yeah, the Packers are favored by I think they're favored by 1.5. Yeah, 1.5 favorites.
Yeah. 1.5 at home though, Jesse.
Oh, yeah.
1.5.
Yeah, and over under is 42.5. And I'm going to stay far away from this game. I think the Packers are going to win, but I don't know. I'll lean towards the Packers, but I definitely wouldn't put anything down on it.
I'm going to take the Packers. I'm going to lay the 1.5 points, and I'm going to put $50 down because there's supposed to be a cold snap coming through Green Bay this weekend, and it's going to drop down to -50. And I think that's going to hamper. It's going to cause Derek Carr's mascara to freeze. He's not going to be able to see so well. All right. Anyway, I don't believe in the Saints. I don't believe in Derek Carr. I don't give a shit what they think that they're going to be able to do. And, we're going to find out in this game which one of these teams is a liar, right? Because, I said it week 1, right? Well, week 1's a liar, but week 1 can kind of trickle a little bit.
Did you see that play week 1? Jordan Love fell over the center.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like,
he threw 3 touchdowns again last week. He threw 3 touchdown passes again last week. Is he going to throw 3 touchdown passes against the Saints? I think it's doable, but at the same time, we're going to find out which one of these teams has been lying. And I have a feeling that it's the Saints. I'm taking the Packers. I'll lay the 1.5. And what did I tell you? $100?
50.
Both Aaron Jones and Christian Watson are both questionable. So is Jair Alexander. Elgin Jenkins, their starting guard, is out with a knee injury, and David Bakhtiari is questionable with a knee.
David Bakhtiari might as well just fucking retire now. That guy is never available.
He's not, but when he is, he's really, really good.
I know he's really, really good.
He was really good November 10th, 2022.
Yeah, with Jordan Love, I look at Jordan Love and I just think there's a rick in him every game. There's something that I don't believe in him just yet. I think he is average. He's average, but I don't think he's that good. I think New Orleans have got a good defense. I'm taking New Orleans for the win here.
There you go.
I'm
in Green Bay. That's pretty bold.
Yeah, man. I know it is.
I thought I lost
got it there.
Yeah,
nice.
It was in my pocket. It's been washed and everything. I thought I lost it.
Field pass? Oh, cool.
Yeah. I was
nice.
Upset at myself. All right, yeah. So
I'm not putting anything on it. I'm just going to take New Orleans.
AJ Dillon was a bit of a disappointment last week, but that guy can play, and I hope the Packers aren't ready to get away from him unless there's something going on that I don't know about, which I mean is highly possible. I don't know, jack fuck nothing.
But especially if you look at them injuries, Jesse, as you said, you've got guards, you've got centers, you've got probably their best wide receiver in Watson, who came on strong last year.
Yeah, he's questionable. Yeah, he's questionable.
It's leaning me more towards New Orleans, so I think, I'll take them. And that is a small spread as well.
It's amazing how quick the Packers lost their talent.
Yeah, now. Honestly, I think they just be an average team. They're the sort of team that's going to be picking around 15, 17, 18, thereabouts, something like that. Yeah.
All right, Denver Broncos traveling
Good
to
game.
the sunny city of Miami. And just go through the injury report. Justin Simmons is out. Frank Clark is out. And Mike Purcell is questionable. Some big names, or at least a big name, is out for the Dolphins, and Jalen Waddle.
Yeah.
With a concussion. Linebacker Jalen Phillips is questionable. Running back Salvin Ahmed is doubtful with a groin. Tyler Croft is questionable. No joke, he's always questionable. That guy can never stay on the field either. Raycon Davis is questionable, and that's really all that matters.
So when you say a guy is out with a groin, does that mean that like he got a piece of ass and he's not leaving it?
Maybe
living all weekend. Got himself a groin.
So it's 47. It's 47.5, Jesse, and I've got Miami as 6.5 favorites. Is that right?
Morning. Yep, that's right. Morning, Yam.
What's up, Yam?
Yeah, I like Miami in this. I like. Tyreek Hill is uncoverable.
I love that.
And with even with Jalen Waddle out, I think, and Jeff Simmons being out is big for that Bronco defense. Frank Clark's still out. I like Miami. I like them, like them to cover the points. And I'll put 100 on it.
I'm putting 200 on Miami at home, covering those points
nice.
right away. What's the over/under on this game?
It is 47.5, John.
Not touching that, but I'll tell you what. Last week, the Broncos defense caved in. They absolutely caved in. And I mean, credit the Commanders, but the Broncos defense had an 18-point lead and let it evaporate like that. All right. And not only that, but their offense couldn't really get back into the game once their defense let that lead start to get away from them. I mean, yes, our defense made the game change, but you see my point. Miami's offense, I don't care if they don't have Jalen Waddle. They're going to crank it up anyway, because I think that if you have Tua and Tyreek Hill, you don't need really Jalen Waddle to go out there and beat up on his Broncos defense. Simple as that. So, yeah, give me the Dolphins. Yeah. I'll lay the points. And what did I say?
100, you said. Is that right?
100. Well, I don't know. You tell me, because I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, I got you as 100, and Jesse, I got you as 200. Is that right?
The last time I said something, I doubled it 10 seconds later and didn't remember.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So I'm with you, with you boys both.
Too many of these fucking concerts. That's what happened.
The Ramones, they're cool.
Banging my head around.
I got Miami. I'm going to cover the points. I've got 150 on this, but I've also got 100 on the over. I think this is going over 47.5. I think Russ will get you probably 2 touchdowns somewhere along the lines, but I think Tyreek Hill could probably get 3 or 4 himself.
You're looking for a big game out of Marvin Mims?
I'm not sure. I mean, they gave up, what did they give up? 35 against us last week. So that on its own, I mean, can they? You're looking at that. What's that? That's going to be 40. Can they score 15? Yeah, I think they can probably score 15. So, yeah, I think that's doable. I think that is doable. So I'm going to stick 100 on the over as well. Be a bit bold.
Mm-hmm.
See if we can make some of that loss that we got last week.
I put Marvin Mims up in fantasy this week because nobody else was going to touch him.
He's in my fantasy team last week. He was in, but I put him on the bench. I thought I'd started him. I didn't. I put him on the bench.
I always have somebody I can cut. And so, I think this week it was Tyler Higbee. And I'll drop Tyler Higbee for him and take a chance on him. So I'm looking for, I don't know if I'm going to put him in my lineup, but he's a home run threat. And I'll be interested to see how they use him going forward, considering he had his breakout game last week.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. We got the Carolina Panthers traveling to the West Coast, facing the Seattle Seahawks. A fantastic game to watch. Let me tell you. Bryce Young is out.
Really?
Bryce Young is out, and probably for the better. And this is why this is what makes this game a little frisky. Andy Dalton is actually going to be under center.
I'm sorry.
The Red Rocket.
The Red Rocket will probably play better than Bryce Young has played.
Bryce Young, Matt Hasselbeck back in the day. I mean, how long has he been in the league?
I thought Andy Dalton was at the 49ers.
I thought he died.
No.
Who went to the 49ers? Who was at?
Oh, that was the big forehead guy.
He used to. I think he was originally picked by the Jets.
Yeah. Brickhead, blockhead.
Yeah. Over under is 42. I'm going to take the Panthers plus the points. Seahawks to win, but I'm going to take the Panthers and the points in this one. I like what Carolina is starting to build. They got a feisty defense, and with a veteran quarterback under center, I think it might go a little bit better. Going and jumping on a little bit of some more injuries on Seattle side of the ball. DK Metcalf is questionable with rib injury. Julian Love is questionable with hamstring. And Jamal Adams is also questionable with a knee, as well as Tariq Woolen is doubtful with the chest. So they're banged up. Quadre Diggs is questionable with the hamstring, and Kobe Bryant. So their whole backfield is
wait. Who?
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant?
Kobe, not the dead one there, John.
I mean, okay. I'm sure I heard you right there. I obviously know it's not the dead one.
They're
making sure you're not
their
having
defensive backfield is decimated right now with injuries.
Yeah.
But I like the Panthers in this game. I like them to cover.
In Seattle?
Are you putting any money on that?
I'll put 100 on it.
What's the spread again?
5.5.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Geno Smith is better than advertised, which doesn't mean I think he's going to be very great, but he's pretty good. I think, I made those comments during the Lions picks about what they did last week about him goofing around running back there, but he did bring him back, and he did manage to win that game. And again, 30 points or more. They lost to the Rams, but here, Andy Dalton, honest to God, you can see Andy Dalton's first football card is a cave painting on a fucking inside of in a cave in France. All right. That's how long he's been in the league. Actually, he's been 13 years in the league. And I just don't see it. Not with what Carolina has. I don't care about what kind of, they don't have anything. They really don't have any weapons with anything. They don't, nothing. I'm taking Seattle. I'm taking the 12th man. I'm going to lay those points. I'm going to put $100 down on that. And I don't care if DK Metcalf doesn't play, because I think Tyler Lockett is, he's the silent fucking assassin, man. That dude is just badass. They'll be all right. I think Geno Smith will pull them through in that game, and I think that they'll be able to cover, at least by a touchdown for sure.
John, I'm on exactly the same bet as you. I had it already written down, so yeah.
I peeked at your paper, Scott.
You did, yeah. Tyler Lockett is unbelievable as a wide receiver. He's very, very underrated as well. Don't necessarily believe in Geno Smith. Geno Smith for me in this year is let me see what you did again last year. The quarterback we were thinking of was Sam Darnold. I don't know why.
Yeah, Sam Darnold.
Right. Yeah, it just come in my head then. I was like, oh, that's who it was. They both look the same. They're both ginger. They both look stupid. They both play for the Panthers.
Darnold's not a ginger.
He's
not. He's a blind dude. He is as fucking Neanderthal as it gets, though. I gotta tell you. I guarantee you, the heaviest part on his body is his fucking eyebrows. Right.
But you're right. There's nothing.
Hunk of fucking bone right here.
There's nothing on this on the Panthers that gets me thinking, yeah, they're great. I mean, Brian Burns is probably the only player that I think is.
I'm not saying they're great. I'm saying they got a better defense and they're going to have a better quarterback under center. I think they can keep it close.
Not for me.
That's right. That's all right. By next week, you're going to be like, hey, Jesse, you were right. I should have been.
Yeah, Jesse, you were here. Yeah.
No. You're not getting me to. You're not convincing me that the Panthers with Andy Dalton are going to cover at home against the Seahawks.
All right.
Even with Geno Smith, Geno Smith, like you said, Scott, he's always in improvement mode. But when I'm watching him play, that dude can make some zip on the pass, man. He put some tight balls in there. He's not as bad as you would think, just to shrug him off.
Pro Bowl Geno Smith, John. Pro Bowl Geno Smith. Put some respect on his name.
Some respect on his name. I'm telling you, it's better than reputation. And I think that they're better, much better. They're much better. They're touchdown better than the fucking Panthers.
This is going to be a fun game to watch.
Wow.
Chicago Bears and the Kansas City Chiefs. I want to run by some key statistics real quick. Offensive points per game. I just want you see if you can guess whose offensive points per game this is. 18.5.
The Chiefs.
That is the Chiefs this season.
Okay. And so is the Bears. They're both scoring 18.5 points a game.
Interesting.
Yeah. Defense points per game, 15. Who is that?
Scoring defense or
giving up.
Probably Kansas City.
Okay, yeah. 32.5 is the Bears.
That's a lot.
It's too early to call this Bieniemy. It's too early to tell if Bieniemy, if the Bieniemy factor is real in Kansas City.
It's not too early, and I'm going to tell you because it's not just Bieniemy. They have cast off every weapon they have. They're trying to go out there with Patrick Mahomes and a cast of fucking third stringers, and it ain't working. All right. Pacheco is a decent running back, but they're not a running fucking team. But they're trying to go out there with Sky Moore.
Look, I mean,
Valdez-Scantling. Come on.
Kelsey's been injured too.
If Valdez-Scantling turned sideways and stood behind a stop sign, he wouldn't need the big thing up top to hide anything. Motherfucker could hide right behind that post. He could hide behind
Kelsey's been injured too, and I think that it plays a lot into this.
Whatever,
Pacheco is also questionable with hamstring. Nick Bolton is out with the ankle. Kadarius Toney is questionable with the toe. And
Tony's questionable because he's got no hands.
Well, I mean, even when he makes the play, Kadarius Toney is a fucking punk ass. And you know what? I know his mom's looking. So you know what? This is Tony. Tell your son he's a fucking punk ass.
It's a lot of dudes getting banged up.
Well, it's early in the season because they're not allowed to hit each other too hard in camp, and that's why they have all these fucking soft tissue injuries.
48 and a half is the over-under. I think that's way too high. I'm going to take the under in that one. The Chiefs are favored by 12 and a half. It's like a twat and a queef.
A queef in the
all right.
Jesse, are you taking the under? Yeah.
I want to make it known that it wasn't me that made that joke.
I'll put $50. That's a John joke right there.
It was a John joke. Yeah, I like that.
I'll put $50 on the under. And I'll take the Chiefs, the Chiefs laying the points too.
You're gonna lay the 12 and a half. That is quite a big spread. For me.
Yeah, but have you seen the Chicago Bears play?
Yeah, I know. I wanted to come up with a stat. You talked about stats earlier. I've got a stat here for you. Everyone this season, this offseason, and has said this is the year for Justin Fields. This is it. The dude is 5-22 as a starter. I don't think he's the answer. I'm sorry.
It's not necessarily even just him. Look, man, you're not going to tell me when you got a guy like that who's got problems up front, you're going to go get a wide receiver and think you're going to solve everything. It's just not going to work that way.
Have you seen the film breakdowns on Justin Fields? He's got pockets galore. He's got receivers run wide. I'm talking about no one within 20 yards of him. Mm-hmm. And he's got 5 seconds to throw the ball, and he still gets sacked.
Listen, it's these
Justin Fields problem.
It's these orange helmets. That's what it is. But the Bears don't wear that kind of shit, and he's fucking confused out there. He doesn't know what he's looking at.
Do you watch Brian Baldinger doing his breakdowns? Jesse, do you see Baldy's breakdowns on Twitter?
Yeah.
He was showing it there. And I mean, you're right. 4 seconds. He was timing it 4.2, 5 seconds. The offensive line is actually holding up. Just Justin Fields has just been awful.
Well, I do have some prop bets on this game. There are some props. Let's see. Over under on items stolen from Soldier Field while the Bears are on the road, 370. So I'm thinking that sounds like, a weight room, right?
Yeah.
All right. Also, you can also bet on whether or not the players' IDs are stolen by the airport Taco Bell in Kansas City. So that's some interesting stuff. Seriously, the Bears, everything's wrong with them. Everything is wrong with them. You know what I mean? When you've got people breaking in and stealing all kinds of shit, people don't give a shit about nothing over there. So.
No, they don't.
No. And what's the spread on this game? I'm sorry, I was
12 and a half.
12 and a half, man.
12 and a half. All right. I'm laying that shit.
Yeah.
This is a breakout game for the Kansas City Chiefs and their cast of cast off nothings. I don't care. Patrick Mahomes, even with this schmuck bunch, should be able to score 40 points. So, yeah, I'm taking the Chiefs. I'm laying the points, but I'm not $50.
50.
I'm not that confident. They're going to win, and they're going to win big. They're going to win convincingly, I should say.
Honestly, now, I mean, for me, it's the Chiefs all day, every day. But I can't stand the Chiefs at the minute. It just piss me off at the minute. I just sick of them. You just get sick of a team, and you're like,
that was this. What Scotty is feeling right now is how I felt about the New England Patriots when they started.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I absolutely could not stand Tom Brady and the New England Patriots.
None of us can.
I wanted to kick him in his butthole chin every time I saw him.
Look, and you got the Red Sox winning.
It's just jealousy.
Of course it is. There's nothing other than jealousy.
Boston became intolerable for like 15 years. So yeah, I mean that's part of being a sports fan, because everybody hates the goddamn winner, and fuck them. That's why. I don't give a shit if anybody wants to say, "Well, that's just not very sportsmanlike of you." Fuck you do. That's right. That's that.
So yeah, it's the Chiefs for me, and I couldn't give a shit about Travis Kelce and fucking Taylor Swift.
And you know what? When the Commanders turn to be up on top of there, Scotty, you've never experienced this, but when
I've never experienced that.
And they start saying that stuff, you know what you do? You do just like the royalty do, and you go,
peasants.
All right, this
boy.
Another exciting game. God, we got a good slate this week, don't we, boys?
Come on, Dobbs, man. Come on.
Yeah, Dallas Cowboys traveling to Arizona, take on the Cardinals. This is another 12.5 game, and over-under is 42.5. This could be another fucking blowout, like big-time blowout. Like I don't know if the Cardinals are going to be able to score at all in this game.
Yeah, I don't think that Dallas scores 42.5 points though.
No.
Dak Prescott the statue. No thanks. Well, give me the under on this.
I got to give it to him, man. They've been taking what the defense gives him.
Yeah.
He hasn't been doing too many crazy things, and they haven't turned it over yet, have they? Have the Cowboys turned it over yet? I know he hasn't thrown an interception. And if conservative, look, this is what Sam Howell has at his disposal. What Dak has, a fucking dominant defense that can hold scores down and keep a team in a fucking cage. Just put them in a fucking box right at the beginning. All right, I'm old guy, right? I'm old guy, so I relate these things to different things. Let me show you what I found the other day. See this? This is my Roberto Duran versus Marvin Hagler fucking program that I got when I won the fight. Right, I found this the other day. You can't really see it, but there it is.
I bet that's worth a bomb now.
I don't know if it is or not, but I have one. And Roberto Duran. All right, when Roberto Duran used to fight, what he used to do is by the time the third round came along, the other fighter was in a box about this big, and Roberto Duran would not let him out. And that's what the Cowboys do. All right, they put you in a box and they don't let you out. I'm hoping Dobbs can get the fuck out. This is like I was trying to tie this into what the Commanders have. We have a defense that will also put another team in a box. So you take what they give you. You don't have to be overly courageous. You don't have to be stupid. And Dak, to his credit, hasn't been stupid. So I can see this easily a Cowboys win. What'd you say it was? 12.5 though?
Yeah, 12.5.
Yeah, 12.5.
I'm not touching that. Give me the Cardinals and put $50 down on the fact that they can hold it close, because even though Dobbs isn't great, he ain't that bad.
They're a feisty bunch too, and I don't think they're as bad as their record is. I don't think they're going to be. I think the Bears are the worst team in the league. I don't think the Cardinals are the worst team in the league. They have a lot of fight. And listen, first game of the season, they took us to the brink, and then they had the Giants down. They were up 20-0.
They gave it up
versus the Giants. They gave it up. So, maybe they can, score 4 or 5 points in this game. I don't know. But they do fight. And I'm staying away from this. I will take the under though. I'll put 50 on the under.
All right. So Yam is dropping a half fact here that they were the Kansas City Chiefs were originally the Kansas City Cowboys. Well, there were the Dallas Texans first, but then they left and went and became the Kansas City Chiefs. and Lamar Hunt started the AFL. But what happened was because the AFL had and the Dallas Cowboys and the Dallas Texans, they were fighting each other right there for that freaking thing. The Cowboys started in 1960, and in order to give them a draw to try to encourage the fans from Dallas to get on board with the NFL's Cowboys, the Chicago Bears gave the Cowboys their number 1 overall pick, which they used on Don Meredith, which was I think he went to Texas. He was a fucking hometown boy. Everybody loved him. And, so that's kind of how the Cowboys got started. But then the Chiefs, the Texans moved on up to Kansas City and became the Chiefs, and Lamar Hunt set up the AFL. And there you go. There's our history moment for the day.
So for me in this game, I'm taking Arizona because I fucking hate the Cowboys, and that is simple as that. Fuck the Cowboys.
Arizona in the 20s.
You gonna put some money where your mouth is, there, youngster?
Yeah, I am. I'm gonna put a $100 on the under.
On the under.
The
I'm
under.
not telling you. Look, if I can sit right here and I get my lamp behind my head, just right. Look, now I'm Keith. Hey, I got Keith here. Hey. Well, not quite. There we go. Hey,
another shit game of the week. The Pittsburgh Steelers are traveling to Las Vegas.
This is a game that in 1978 was like must-see TV.
Yeah, that's true. The Raiders are favored by 2.5. The over/under is 43. You know what? I like the Steelers in this game. I think the Steelers will cover and actually win. I'm not a fan of the Jimmy Garoppolo-led Raiders. Raiders defense is terrible. So give me the Steelers to try to get back on track. Now, the Steelers were supposed to be a playoff team this year, and they're not good. They're not good.
They were
had a good
playoff
defensive performance last week, though. I mean, TJ Watt got a score. They played quite well on defense, which is what you'd expect.
They had one big play to Pickens.
Yeah.
Right. But look, Kenny Pickett, he ain't it. All right. You were talking about how you were complaining last week saying our quarterback would have. Kenny Pickett just doesn't look like it. Now, I mean, I'm not saying that's a forever thing because it's his second year, and in the second year, quarterbacks tend to struggle.
Take my strong hand, John.
Oh yeah,
Kenny Pickett hands.
Right.
He's got hands like iPhones. They're tiny.
They're tiny little hands. I don't believe in Kenny Pickett. I'm taking the Raiders in this game, and I'm taking them to cover. Jimmy Garoppolo, when he's in, he does all right. They do have weapons with Devontae Adams and with the running back Jacobs. So the Raiders last week against the Bills, they got the shit knocked out of them. But when they had their first drive was brilliant. They went right down the field. So here's a clue over there to the Raiders. Do that for the rest of the game. And you'll cruise against the Pittsburgh Steelers because the Steelers ain't nothing.
I got the Steelers for a win. Don't care about this game at all. Just think they've got a little bit more than Vegas have. Don't know why. Don't know how. But yeah.
Don't know why. Don't know how. There you go.
Next. That's my analysis. Well done, Scott. Yeah.
All right. This is kind of an interesting game a little bit. The Tampa Bay defense has been playing really, really good.
Mike Evans has been on a freaking all-pro tear.
And Baker Mayfield has looked as good as he has ever since he's came into the league, even though it's really not all that great.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I still think he's a middling quarterback, in that 23-24 range. But he's steering the ship and injuries for the Eagles. Boston Scott is out and
really?
So is Quez Watkins. So two key role players on the offense.
Watkins hasn't really done too much this year.
Not yet, no, but he has his moments.
What he is he's that guy that they can put on the field and stretch the shit out of it. You have got to respect that speed when he comes on the field.
Yeah. Devin White is questionable for the Bucks. So is Carlton Davis. Vita Vea is questionable with a pectoral injury. Kalijah Cansey is questionable, and Sir Vakase, Dennis is out with a hamstring, and guard Cody Mock is questionable. with a back injury.
He's pretty good. Look, is a pictorial injury like if you're Penthouse Magazine?
Well, the pictorial industry is really, having a boom right now.
Not really. The pictorial industry is pretty big. Somebody brought up Playboy magazine to me the other day, and I'm like, do they even publish that anymore? Does anybody even care?
All online now.
You could probably show Playboy centerfolds in freaking third grade now, and nobody give a shit.
Yeah. So the Eagles are favored by 4.5. The over/under is 45. I think this is an interesting game. It's a Sunday night. It's a Sunday night game.
Sunday night game. Yeah.
Is it the Sunday night game? I thought it was Monday Night Football. There's 2 Monday Night Football games this week. I think the Sunday.
Okay, yeah.
Is
it the first Monday night then? Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's the second one. No. The Bengals and Rams are the second one. You're right. It's the first one.
Yeah.
Sorry. Please continue the show.
This is a tough one. 4.5. I like I said, I like what the Bucs are doing on defense. I really do. And like John said, Mike Evans is on a tear.
Fuck yeah.
But I think I'm going to have to lean Eagles here until they prove me wrong, even though they haven't played in the first couple of weeks up to the standards I think that we thought they were going to. But it's still the Eagles. They have a very, very talented team, and they're relatively healthy. So I'm going to go to Eagles, laying the points, and I'll put 100 down on it.
I think they dominated the Vikings last week. I don't think that game was ever in question. The fact that Boston Scott is out is very happy to me because I do have DeAndre Swift in my fantasy team. And last week, I didn't put him on my fucking – I had him on my bench. I know. But thankfully, Brian Robinson pulled me through, and I won. So, I mean, a good thing. But Swift is definitely in there this week. And the fact that Boston Scott is out is good for me on that. I think that, I've seen Midland quarterbacks beat the Eagles on Monday Night Football. Just last year, in fact. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't even call him a Midland quarterback. What was he ranked? 31st?
Bottom of the barrel.
He's bottom of the barrel quarterback. And I mean, look, I tell you what, I don't necessarily believe in the Bucs, but Mike Evans is a fucking stud, and Godwin is a stud right behind him. If Baker Mayfield can keep them close, anything can happen. Would you say the spread was 4.5? I'll take the Bucs and the 4.5. And I ain't putting any money on it. I'm just going to take it just to say, hey, I took it. The over, on the other hand, I will take the over for $50.
Yeah, that 45. You know what? Yeah, throw me down for 50.
By themselves. They could. You never know with them yet. It's like a whip. All right, they're out there, and that freaking end is coming, and you never know when it's going to go. Wata!
Because throw me down for $50 on the over as well.
Talk them into it. There you go. Way to go, Jesse. Roll high.
So same for me, Jesse. I already wrote it down as well. You've been obviously stealing the book here. The same thing. Lay the points, $100 on Philly. There's a Philly win for me. No doubt about it. Defense wins it for them. I mean, one thing that I did find quite funny is if you listen to the YouTube mic'd up for week 2, you will get Devontae Smith for the Eagles. He sounds like a 13-year-old child.
Looks like one too.
Oh my God.
Dude, I don't want to hear it. I have audio from you from last week on our Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening, or for you Monday morning podcast directly after the football game. Scotty is punchy as shit and laughing, and I'm going to capture that because you sound like a goddamn psychotic. There's no way anybody get in a car with you. I just have to capture. I don't have time for all the fun I want to have.
Well. Yeah, 2 games to go.
All right, the LA Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are 2.5-point favorites.
It's gone down again. I got it as 3, so gone down there. Just
that's a hometown for neither way.
Puka Nakua is questionable. Nakua is questionable with the oblique, and Jacoby.
That's where you lose me. Puka Nakua oblique.
Oblique.
Puka Nakua oblique.
Jacoby Durant is questionable with the groin. And what's going on with Joe Burrow's calf? Is he going to play? Is he not going to play? And Irv Smith is doubtful with a hamstring. I think Joe Burrow is going to play. And I think they're going to get their shit together this week. I got the Bengals covering The over-under is 43. I don't think I'm going to touch that. But I like the Bengals to get their shit together this week.
Definitely. Yeah, they're 0-2. Joe Burrow's not going to let that stand. He's not going to accept that no matter how much his calf is hurting him. And, unless he has to walk off the field like he did in practice that day on that video that we all saw, I don't see him leaving the field in any condition. They're going to have to drag him off of there. And, yeah, I think they have a lot of talent. And even though the Rams have shown out okay over they beat the Seahawks. They hung tough with the 49ers. Not this week. Nope. Not up in Cincinnati.
Yeah, not for me too, John. Cincinnati Bengals win this one. That wide receiver, though, from the Rams, who you mentioned before, who has an oblique.
Pakunukwa oblique.
If he gets 2 touchdowns in this game, he'll be the first person to ever do that in NFL history. So,
do what?
To get 2 touchdowns per game in the first 3 games.
First 3 games.
So he was day 3. He was a day 3 pick. So obviously, watch what you can find on day 3 because he looks like a pretty decent player. To be fair.
Look, man, I get tired of these stats that these guys make up all the time. I mean, yeah, that's impressive, but this is the first guy in history to score 3 points in every 5-minute segment of the football game. And what the fuck off, man? You come up with these. Let me tell you something. We got to differentiate this guy. So let me tell you, in the first 2 games, 1 quarter, and 3.5 minutes, this is the first guy to ever score 300 touchdowns. Whatever the fuck, man. Y'all come up with a million different ways to make somebody sound like more than he is.
Yeah.
All right. He's fucking Coors Light, and that's that. Paku Nakwa.
And the game of the week.
And let's be honest, I think it actually is the game of the week as well.
Yeah, there's some shit games. Washington's are home dogs by 6.5. The over-under is 43. Boys, what are we thinking?
I'm thinking that I'm taking the over in the game.
Wow.
$50.
Over? You see,
not in this mess. Not in this weather.
The weather's going to clear out of there. You watch.
John,
You're running it up.
what? You've just gone completely against an hour and a half's worth of show yesterday.
Well, I got to tell you, the whole thing, what happens is that we get to the end of this show, and I've been drinking and all kinds of stuff, and I start to make pronouncements about the Commanders that my ass can't hold up.
So you're going $50 on the over in this game?
Yeah, fuck it. Why not? $50 on the over. Let's see what they can do. $50 on the over.
Yeah.
And I am taking the Commanders to cover.
Okay.
For another $50. Because they're going to win 53-0.
I got the Manders to cover. I'm staying away from it. I'm not betting on my own team.
Again.
Yeah. Look, this is how it is, man. This is a true measuring stick for us, and I know we said this 2 years ago when they came into town and blew us the fuck out. Or no, we went up there and blew us out. But if we can play with these guys, we're going to have ourselves a season, and I truly think that we can, if we do a couple things. The Commanders have to do a couple things. They have to protect the ball, and they have to control the line of scrimmage. If they can protect Sam Howell, and if they can get to Josh Allen, they got a chance. They got a fighting chance to do this. They have to protect the outside and stop the run and stop Josh Allen for gashing us for 10, 12 yards on scrambles.
Punish that fucking galoot.
If they can do that, they have a fighting chance. If they can't, it's going to be a long game.
That's exactly right. They got a puncher's chance. And if they can fucking land a punch early in the game, I'm not going to say take Josh Allen out or anything like that, but there's not a hospital's not too far away. And let's go get it. And I'm going to tell you right now, John wrote a check just now for what'd you say it was? 45.5?
40.
Yeah,
43.
I just wrote a check with my ass. Let's see y'all cash it.
Okay.
I'm an unbiased helmet.
So you're taking us for the win then, John?
Oh, definitely taking us for the win. No, I'm not. I'm taking us to cover, not taking us to win. I'm taking us to cover, and I'm going to go ahead and take the over on it because I think it's going to go much higher than anybody anticipates, man.
I've got you there. Jesse,
I don't think Eric Bieniemy knows how to lay off.
Cover?
I got us to cover. I got us to cover.
Are we actually going to win the game, though?
No.
Right.
Probably not.
So for me, it's the same. I'm thinking this is a low-scoring game. As we said yesterday, 17-13, that sort of.
Yeah, I did hear that. I
We don't care
did.
about what Norm Greenberg has to say.
I'm saying 17-13, thereabouts. It's going to be a tight game. This we have to. It's the measuring stick game. It's the measuring stick. They are, as you said yesterday, John, on the show. They are a Super Bowl contender right now. We have to say,
Peter.
I know he's nailed it, only Peter. There. If we can get anywhere near this and come out of it with a win, then we can have a season. As Jessy said,
we can have a season even if we lose. We can have a season even if we lose. It's a measuring stick game, but just if you don't top the measuring stick, that doesn't mean that you can't still have. I mean, what's the definition of a season? Super Bowl win? We're not in that category. I mean, unless something amazing happens.
Just double digits. If you win in this game, you make sure
we got 10.
I think double digit wins. And that's kind of where we are. We're in the playoffs. Then I think we're comfortably in the playoffs. Then at 10. I think at 9,
just think what it would do to the confidence of the team. If they can beat someone like this as well.
I think they're confident anyway. Sam Howell doesn't fucking feel it, man. The dude doesn't get rattled.
But yeah, I'm taking Buffalo for the win. I do think we will cover the spread, but I think Buffalo will win it.
Yeah, I mean, if we win, I won't shower for a week.
Well, I tell you what, that is not an incentive.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Oh, more tea, Vicar. Oh, come on, Jessy. Couldn't have waited a day, a minute until we finish. It's them refried beans and this new diet you're having, Jessy.
Yeah. I need to go back on a diet. I gained like 5 pounds since
God.
Yes.
Sorry about that. Capturing all your turds and weighing them to make sure your ounces are exactly the way they're supposed to be. Shite. He says today he's yelling at Andy on our fucking chat. You're turning more American, by the day. Listen to yourself.
Mm-hmm. So he spent a weekend with us and we turned him English.
Right, he's practicing. He's going to have a caravan in no time, riding around the countryside, selling little magic charms and shit.
Yeah. So the most interesting games of the week is probably that if Eagles, Buccaneers, and Commanders and Bills game.
I'm interested in the Vikings and the Chargers. One of them's got to fucking stop losing, and that's going to be What is it? The old John Madden clip I used to have on the old show. If you like offense with your coffee, this is what you got tonight. Because that's what they're going to be. It's just going to be balls are flying all over the place. It's going to be like the most awesome gay bar you've ever seen. Balls everywhere.
I think the one to watch, the actual game to watch early doors is probably going to be LA and Miami. Not LA and Minnesota. That one, as you just said.
Yeah.
Who's Miami playing again?
Miami's playing against. Oh shit!
Denver.
No, you got me Denver, right?
Well, that Lions Falcon games could be a little interesting too.
Look, CBS and Fox aren't paying us.
That's true.
No, that's true.
But I do hate games on CBS. I don't.
We're
on
like CBS again.
It's poor broadcast, and it's a poor broadcast.
Terrible.
I never much care for any of them. I always think that they tell you the most obvious goddamn things that you ever want to goddamn hear. And they broadcast for the guy in the room that is the only guy that doesn't know what the fuck is going on. And it drives me crazy. That's why when you get a guy like when Tony Romo first started, he was good because the first year he was good because he would tell you about things that he saw that was going to happen. And people that understand a little bit about football would go, oh, that's cool. That's a little insight that I didn't know. But now Tony Romo isn't anything but like, I'll tell you right here, Jim, they just might throw the ball right here. I don't know. They might throw it.
Yeah.
What you think, Jim? And they get to the point where they start telling you, offsides is when the guy moves before the ball is snapped. And that's when it's 5-yard penalty. It's like, no fucking kidding. We know this, but the person sitting next to you goes, oh, I'll forget that by tomorrow, but it makes it interesting right now. Fuck off. Just show us a Coors Light commercial or whatever. Fuck idiots.
No more
the game. Anyway,
if you go into the game tomorrow, enjoy yourself, be responsible, but scream your head off. let's get this win.
Be fucking loud. I don't care if you're responsible or not. Just stay in the stadium. Don't get in any fights till you get out in the parking lot.
Or just don't get any fights at all.
Well, yeah, that's always good.
Yeah.
We see these fights again, these goddamn people from San Francisco and New York, and we might as well put this fun music on while we do it. People getting out, getting stupid. Hey, look at you, you big fucking idiot. Hey, you can't hold your fucking liquor. You drink like a 10-year-old. What the fuck's the matter with you? You left high school 50 years ago. I see you, you dumb motherfuckers. God, it drives me absolutely crazy. You see these people in these fights. And I swear to God, their punches are like, man, because you're 45, you dumb motherfucker. You shouldn't be doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's our picks for the week. Hopefully we do better than we did last week. And as always, the disclaimer must be said. If you take our advice for gambling purposes and you lose your money, you're a fucking moron. You shouldn't be listening to us. You take responsibility for everything you do.
Between all of us, we lost over $1,000 last week. Don't listen to our picks.
Don't listen to us. If you
we'll
listen
be
to
back.
Us, you blame us for your losses, you are an idiot, and that's all you're saying.
Well, hopefully, Peter, we'll see you tomorrow after the show. I mean, after the game.
Late on.
We'll jump on for a few minutes, give our instant reactions, and then Monday we'll come back for a full breakdown of the Bills Commanders. Hopefully, you win.
Tell you what, that was fun last week. I'll give you a little bit of a hint. Last week we had a late game, which put all these British guys up at like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night to be able to watch, to be able to be on with us. Scott basically laid down in his bed, put the phone on himself, and was like through the whole game. And anytime you asked the question of Andy would go,
John, it was nearly 1 a.m.
I'm sorry, did you say something? It took like 40 seconds for anything to get through to Andy.
Total delay on it. It's terrible.
You click on Scouse and there he is. It's like, dude, put on some pants, Oh, I forgot. And thankfully, last week we almost had a Keith masturbating on camera emergency, but we did not.
We didn't.
We did not. But there's always hope for next week. So until then, after the game tomorrow, directly after for immediate reaction, we will see you then.